Hello again. Those of you paying attention will see it hasn't been quite as long a jump since last time. If you're interested, we're in the Sol system, specifically on Mars, at a little place called Olympus Village. It's one of the two places you can land on Mars. Now, as I said in the last video, we've brought some computers and robots in the hope of getting enough money either to upgrade the ship, depending on what other ships are available, or to get a Class 1 military drive for this ship. So, we've got our usual cargo, and somebody wants some computers. That's quite helpful. So we'll get twice our normal rate for those. Don't suppose anybody wants some robots while we're at it. Someone else looking for computers, but nobody wants robots. Oh well, can't have everything. We'll sell them for our usual markup on the stock market. Now you'll see here there are some ships we'd get paid if we took, but that's because quite honestly they are crap. If you have a look, you'll see their capacity. That one for a start has less space in total than we have free, and in fact by the time you put the interplanetary drive in it, it has no free space. What that means is the second you take off, you're going to blow up because you have no atmospheric shielding. The lifter's slightly better in so much as you can get some atmospheric shielding on there, and at a push you might have even got away with a Class 1 military drive, but again, you're not going to get far in it, and it's mostly for people to prat about in. You can mod the game to have some very interesting results. I've seen people with interplanetary shuttles with massive holes and even bigger selection of weapons on them, but we're not going to be doing that. We're going to play properly. So, as you'll see here, they're going to pay us slightly less for our Class 1 hyperdrive than we would have got in Barnard's Star, which is a bit irritating, but on the other hand the military drive will cost less. So if we take out the hyperdrive, you'll see internal fuel tank is empty warning, because obviously we have no internal fuel tank. If I tried to lift off at the moment, we'd go nowhere fast because we've got no drive. We'll now pay the 22 grand to get the military drive fitted. Our tank's still empty, so let's buy 2 tons of fuel, 1 to put in it. Like I said, you get some radioactives now. Luckily the police won't be searching us until we land somewhere else, so we've got some time to ditch them. Let's see, any good jobs? Any good jobs? Any good jobs? Military gonna give us anything? Ross 154 by the 12th of May, that's a bit of a stretch. Ross 128, again I'd really like to do, but I don't have the permit. And the rest of it is all either passengers, which we're not taking at the moment, people looking for jobs, people looking for people. So, what we will do is we'll load up on the usual. As you'll see, we've got very little cash left, so what I'll probably need to do is do this run a few more times before the next video to ensure that we've got something interesting to do. But I'm just going to take the time to show you this run because we're going to be jettisoning cargo for the first time, so this could be rather interesting. Oh, I'd already put those away. So let's do our jump. As you'll see, we now have 2 tons of radioactives instead of the 1 from before, because we've just used another ton of fuel to get here. Now we're going to jettison, and it looks like we've got away with it on 2 counts. Oh, there go our radioactives. Boom. Shoot the radioactives. About the first thing I have managed to properly hit. The other so occasionally when you jettison cargo you can end up damaging your ship in the process. You can buy shield generators on larger ships, which can help to avoid doing any damage. For example, one shield generator, while it wouldn't do a great deal in an actual firefight, can be more than enough to protect you from doing any damage to your ship. The other problem you can have is if you jettison too close to outposts, then that's actually a criminal offence and you can get fined for it. Certain types of cargo, for example, if you had any live animals in your hull and you jettisoned them, they turn into animal meat fairly quickly, as obviously they wouldn't survive long in space. For reference, you can see here our shield generator count. We've got 0 units, each one takes up 4 tons of space, so I suppose in the space I saved getting us the military drive I could fit one, but it seems a bit self-defeating. Well, we're not going to be in combat that much, he says after getting himself killed twice, and we'd be better off just taking the money that we'll get from carrying more cargo. As you can see, someone wanted grain here, so we could have bought some and made a profit, but we'd still get more for the animal meat, so really not interested in that. Federal military. Ooh, 2 more Taros 154. Right, we'll save here, because if it's anything like our last run Taros 154, this may end rather badly. But both of those look to be within a reasonable time period, and I would rather like to get our ranking with the federal military a bit higher if I can. As you'll see, we don't have much money to spend on cargo now. We might get a profit on some fertiliser if I take that with me. Never really looked at fertiliser before. Okay, we export it, so I'll take some and see what happens. What I'm also going to do, if we have the money, is put the homing missiles back in. Different ships have different number of missile turrets. Our ship only has 2, but what it does mean is if we get attacked again, we can try firing a missile at our attacker, which at the very least ought to throw their attack run a bit, and if we're really lucky, might actually do some damage and or kill them. So, let's see how we do. As you'll see, it takes about 5 days for the jump to Ross 154. I normally add a couple of days on top of that for flight time once you're in the system, so that gives you, I'd say go for 10 days. If that's the minimum time you want between a job in Barnard's Star and its delivery time here. As you can see, we should be well within that limit. And again, as you play the game, you get a bit more used to these time periods and working out exactly how long you have. Oh, that's a bit bigger than I was planning on. Orange, I'm going to guess the Cobra Mark III. This could be a bit of an issue because they might be carrying an ECM generator, which would seriously fuck up my whoa. At that size, he could be carrying an ECM, he could be carrying shield generators. But also, luckily at that size, he's less likely to want to go on a collision course. Please don't. Oh, you bastard! Oh! Right, well, we'll leave the video there. In the next video, we'll take those missions again and see if we can actually do any better. Really sorry about this, guys. We seem to be dying a lot. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.